October 7th, 2025. Well, as things progress on the struggle to control the illegal immigration problem, we're beginning to see a lot of pushback measures from the Democrats, which are, I think, threatening to escalate the situation. If you have Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor of Chicago, declaring areas of the city to be an ICE-free zone, as if the city has any authority to interfere with the execution of federal law enforcement. I mean, that is it borders on insurrectionist talk, and I think that and meanwhile there's an ongoing attempts to use the judicial system to block Trump's efforts to use the National Guard to protect the ICE agents and their pursuit of illegal immigrants and so forth. And this is they've tended to lose in almost all the cases that ultimately went to appeal, particularly the Supreme Court. But what you have is people in generally liberal areas acting up. Now we have and so we'll see how this one plays out. But I don't think that a city can properly um, um, basically declare themselves to be immune to federal law. And another thing to consider here is that the recent attack on ICE agents in Chicago when they called for help from the Chicago police, and the police ordered them not to respond. Now, of course, now they're claiming that that's not true, but we actually have the recording of the order for the cars to not show up at the location. So obviously they're lying. And this could lead to actually the possibility that Trump will at some point have to invoke the Insurrection Act in order to deal with it. And of course, it's being backed up by Governor Pritzker, who's a co-conspirator in this whole effort to protect the criminal illegal alien, particularly. And that's, kind of the way things are breaking politically in this country right now, in the midst of everything else that's going on. So if you like these videos, please give me a like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications, or you can also follow me on Rumble. Yeah, so that's one major development in the Illinois situation. We'll have to see where that goes. In other areas like Tennessee and Memphis, I think he's not having any real opposition from the governor there, and so probably will be able to do what he wants to in that area. Now we also have another development in Portland, Oregon. A Trump-appointed district judge has put a temporary restraining order on Trump's plan to send the National Guard in to deal with the Antifa situation that is pretty prevalent in that area. And that's a bit surprising considering the judicial background of this individual. My guess is that she falls into the sort of libertarian camp, and so that's probably what's going on here. She's not a Democrat, so what is she? Probably a kind of a libertarian type person, would seem to be, and doesn't seem to recognize the real danger that these radicals pose there. And that'll be appealed. I think it's already gone to the Ninth Circuit Court, and from there it'll go to the Supreme Court if we get the wrong panel. But I think that there's a real case in the Portland case to take action. That's been notorious for a long time, as have some of these other areas. To the degree that limited numbers of National Guard, can handle this problem, we need to pursue this. And now another case which is quite interesting and threatens to mess around with the consensus here on the Virginia election, which is looking toward heading to the Democrats, and maybe still is that their candidate for Attorney General Jay Jones has been revealed to have sent apparently to a Republican member of the House of Delegates there, which is their representatives, a series of texts saying that basically that the former Republican Speaker of the House basically deserves to be shot, where he was saying, what was it, Hitler and what this guy and Hitler and Pol Pot that this former speaker gets 2 bullets in the head, and that also wished that his children were dying. This sounds like somebody that's kind of mentally unhinged. It's certainly not the right demeanor to be an attorney general. I mean, could anybody expect fair and balanced justice from a person of this ilk? It doesn't make, and so far the Democrats, of course, as per normal, have refused to denounce this guy and call for him to step out of the race, of course, because if he does, they'll lose the attorney generalship. And of course, maintaining power is the one principle the Democrats have. So we'll see how that plays out, but it may actually impact negatively on the race. Also, the governor candidate Spanberger, who's also refused to call for him to step down. This will play out probably over the course of the rest of the campaign. We'll see what comes of it. The Democrats often can weather these things, strangely enough. Oh, this one's pretty extreme, and we'll have to, let's put it this way: Republicans have been run out of a race for a lot less than this, and we'll just have to, keep touch with it. But that's the way the things are developing. On another front, I guess the Trump peace plan for Gaza and the Middle East, or whatever, is kind of in a weird state here. As of this recording, the Hamas has yet to release the hostages, and that seems to be the only thing they're even at the moment actually inclined to do. They're basically holding up on most points of the plan, but of course, I think it would be good if the hostages are released. Actually, from their point of view, I think at this stage, considering what's pending, if they don't, it might actually inhibit any further military action with the Israelis because, well, I mean, what the excuse would be reduced considerably if the hostages were all back. Where if they're still being held and if they're defiant, then probably the offensive in Gaza City would then go forward. So we're still waiting, as of this recording, which way it's going to break. But hopefully, actually, they'll release the hostages because this has been going on for over 2 years now. It'll be effectively 2 years, I guess, today. So at any rate, we'll have to, again, keep up with that one to see what happens. And final note here, of course, the government shutdown continues as Schumer continues to say it's the Republicans' fault. And, of course, Republicans point out that all they have to do is pass the continuing resolution, and they can still negotiate for what they want on the health care benefits. But the Republicans are unwilling to give them everything they want in order to just reopen the government. And I think that's an unreasonable demand on their part. And hopefully that'll eventually end up failing to work. Because I think this is going to go on for quite a while, I think, still, and it'll get to the point that government employees and the military won't get their paychecks, and things of this sort will happen. Key government reports, such as on inflation and the like, won't come out, so Social Security recipients won't be able to know exactly what they're going to get down to the final dollar until after this thing ends also, this as an example. So that's kind of the state of play at the moment. Finally, I guess the California Newsom's going ahead with his ballot proposition to restore gerrymandering to the California House race, and that one. I guess there's some poll that suggests he's ahead in the poll. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out yet, but. Even if it does happen, I'm kind of wondering, will it be any more gerrymandered than it already is? And will there be court challenges to it? Because this is so blatant in a way. Of course, in a way, the Republicans did set this whole thing in motion. I think it's unfortunate that, as always, Trump manages to engage in it publicly rather than privately. In fact, maybe he engaged a little too early and could have stalled it so they couldn't have got it on the ballot for the general election at this point. So. Well, we'll have to see. There's a lot of things that might still play into this, although there's a fair chance it passes. The question is, how different will this actually be? And also, if they try to gerrymander too far, will they put some of the districts they think are safe into the toss-up category. Um, so this it is possible this whole effort will end up effectively backfiring, and also it could hurt California in that certainly some of the propositions in the big beautiful bill were influenced a lot by California legislatures of the Republican Party who got better SALT deductions than they might have had otherwise. If it's a totally one-party delegation, they may not get as much as they want. And of course, we'll probably be in for more investigations and government shutdowns. So at any rate, I'll be wrapping this up for now. And as always, I'll be posting this on YouTube and Rumble. And the addresses of my social media accounts are in the description below. All for now.